Welcome back to C++ tutorial on Tude Fulcrum. This session is on functions in C++. A function is a set of statements that take inputs, do some specific computation and produces output. The idea is to put some commonly or repeatedly done task together and make a function so that instead of writing the same code again and again for different inputs, we can call the function. The general form of a function is as shown. Specify the return type of your function, the function name, and give your argument list if the function takes any. And within the curly brackets, write the code that your function is going to perform. So let's take a program and understand functions. So let's take an example to write a function that is computing the addition of two numbers. The first part of a function is the declaration of the function, or you call it as the prototyping of a function. It's similar to what you do with variables. Before using a variable, you need to declare the same. The same rule is applicable for functions also. Before calling a function or before writing a function, you need to have a declarative statement for the function, which you call it as a function prototype. So let's see how to give a function prototype for the function that is computing the addition of two numbers. So let's say if your function is not returning any value, you could specify the data type of the return value as void. Next, you need to specify your function name. So let's call the function as adds, and then if the function is taking any arguments, in the prototyping you need to specify the data type of the arguments. So let's say we are going to compute the addition of two integers and the numbers are going to be passed as an argument. So let's specify the data type as integers. So this is the prototype of a function. So this statement gives information to the compiler that you're going to work with a function by name adds, and this function is not going to return any value, and the function takes two arguments of the type integers. Now let's start giving the definition of the function. So definition and prototype should match. So the return type of our function is void, indicating it's not going to return anything. Function name is adds, and now here you have to specify the name of the argument. So a is one of the argument the function is going to take, and let's give another name as b as the second argument. Now here you can write the function definition. So here as said, the function is going to compute the addition of two numbers. So this is the definition of the function. I'm using a variable sum to store the result of a plus b, and using a cout statement, I'm printing the sum. I'm going to invoke the function adds from within the main. So here inside the main, I have to specify what a and b, and I need to pass the same. So let's declare a and b first, and let's say a is equal to 10 and b is equal to say 20, so that your function is computing the sum of 10 plus 20, that is 30. Now let's see how to call the function or invoke the function. It is by using the function name. So our function name is adds. Now you need to pass the arguments. So when you pass the arguments, don't specify any data type, just pass the name of the argument. So here the function takes two arguments and they are of integer types. So when you call the function also, you need to pass two integer entities. So let's say we are passing a and b. So this is how you call a function. The arguments that you pass while calling a function is called as the actual arguments. That is, these are called as the actual arguments or parameters. And the arguments that you specify while giving the definition of a function is called as the formal arguments or formal parameters. Let me explain you how this is going to work internally. So the program execution starts from main. you have declared variables a and b. A initialized with 10, b initialized with 20. And here you have the function called adds of a comma b. So when you call the function, it binds with the function definition. So here you have given the function definition. So a is holding a value of 10. So this 10 will be received by the parameter a here. And then you have passed b. This b will be received by the formal parameter b here, and b is holding a value of 20. And it's not necessary that the formal and actual parameters should have the same name. You can give different names. Now within the function definition, what is the statements? Sum is equal to a plus b. So it will compute sum is equal to a is holding a value of 10, b is holding a value of 20. So 10 plus 20 will be computed. That is 30, and the value is given to the variable sum. So when you print sum, you will get the output as 30. So let's run the code and verify our output. So as expected, our program is giving an output of sum is equal to 30. Note the point that you could avoid the prototyping of the function if you give the function definition before the function call. That is, this is our function definition. Let me remove this and let me put it here. So if this was the case, you can skip the prototyping of the function. It's not necessary to keep the prototype of the function if you were proceeding like this. So if you run the code, you'll get the same output. So I have removed the prototype of the function. Your program works fine without any errors or warnings. It is giving the output sum is equal to 30. Let me show you one more example of a function which is returning an entity. So I'm modifying the same function. So let's make this as it is returning an integer. So this function returns an integer entity. The function name and the arguments are the same as done in the previous case. So let me just give a return statement here, and it is returning an integer. So let's say we are going to return the sum value. So I have modified the function definition like this. The function returns integer, and here it's returning the sum. Sum is an integer entity that is holding the result of a plus b. So my aim is to print the result from the main. So after calling the function, you could write like this. Or since the function is returning a value, there should be someone to receive the same. And here in our case, it is returning an integer entity. So there should be an integer variable here, that is from where you are calling the function. We are calling the function from main. So when you call a function that is returning an entity, there should be a variable to receive the return value. So here it is returning an integer. So there should be a integer variable to receive the return value. So the function call statement for a function that is returning a value should be like this. So adds of a comma b, invokes the function, binds with the function definition here, returns an integer entity sum. That sum is received by the sum variable here from the main, which is invoking the function. So now here within the main, you could give the statement that is printing the sum of a and b. The concept is simple. Only difference is this is the function call statement. We have seen this. So the control binds with the function definition here. So it computes sum of a plus b. So a and b is having 10 and 20 as it is passed. So you have a return statement, return sum. So this will return 30. To where does it return? From where your function was called. From where did I call the function as? I called it from the main. So the action or the control flows back here, and this 30 is received by the variable sum here within the main. And you're printing the sum value. So sum is holding a value of 30. So the output of this statement will be 30. So let's run the program and verify the output. So as expected, our output is sum 30. So this is how function works in C++. So you can write functions with return type or without return type, with arguments or without arguments. So that is depending upon your applications. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe, and please don't forget to tap the bell icon. You'll get notified whenever we upload a new videos. Thank you.